Please turn on your speakers. Your presentation will begin in 3, 2, 1. Now watch closely as I make over $6,000 with my stock trading loophole live on video. Okay, here we are. This is a normal Thursday morning, and I'm going to be using a screen capture program to record my trading. Now, my stock trading loophole has just identified a stock that is about to make a huge gain. So let me jump up here, and we can load up the New York Times website. And there's the front page. Now look down here at the date. The date is Thursday, November 15th, 2012. The time is 9:23 a.m., so the stock market is about to open. Now, the stock that my loophole has found is TLLE. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my online brokerage account and buy around $2,000 worth of shares. So let me just open up my online trading account at etrade.com. There we go. Jump up into the corner and log in. And here we are. Let's go down and look, and you can see that my account balance is just under $6,000. But I'm only going to invest around $2,000 in this stock. So we'll go up here. I want to pull up the stock, TLLE. Get quote. And we'll take a look here. As you can see, the price, right over here, is 13 cents per share. All I need to do now is go over here and click Buy. And of course, we want to buy 15,384 shares. And also I'm going to put a limit in of 38 cents. Now remember, when you are buying penny stocks, you should always use a limit order. If you can do the math quickly, then 15,384 shares at 13 cents each comes to just under $2,000. We'll preview that order, look at it, make sure everything is all fine. And now I'm going to go down here and go ahead and place my buy order. So there you have it. I just placed my buy order, and this will probably cost me just over $2,000. Let's check this out here. Take a good look at it. Now what I'm going to do is stop the video, and we'll cut to tomorrow's trading and see how I've done. All right, this is the good part. This is where I get to log in and see exactly how much money I've made overnight. So, first off, I'm going to show you the date again at the New York Times. There we have the front page, the date. As you can see, it is November 16th, roughly 24 hours after I bought TLLE. So let me pop back up here and open up my E-Trade account. All right, and here we are. Never forget this or you will never get anywhere. Log in. We'll go down here with a simple click of the button. And look at this. As you can see, my net assets are now just over $12,000. And remember, I only invested around $2,000 in TLLE. Now I'm going to go ahead and sell my last remaining shares. So let me open up this quote again. And look at this. As you can see, the price has rocketed to 46 cents per share. And the stocks chart is almost vertical. Look at that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sell all my remaining shares, so we click Sell. And we are going to go over here and enter 1,450 shares, and that's at a minimum price of 48 cents. There we go. Let's go and preview that order now. All right, looks good. Let's go ahead and place that order. And there you have it. We are all done. So as you've just seen, it really is that easy to make thousands of dollars a week using my stock market loophole. Now, you've just watched over my shoulder as I've turned over $2,000 into $6,082.60, and I've done it all on live video so you can see for yourself, firsthand, how easy it is. Now continue reading this page and I'll explain more about how you can get your hands on my secret loophole and make thousands of dollars yourself a day. Oh, One last thing as absolute proof. I'm going to open my account portfolio here, and I'm going to show you how I have over $11,000 worth of cash sitting in my account. That's amazing. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can someone with little or no trading experience make this kind of money from home trading stocks? It's simple, and all I ask is that you keep watching this page to reveal how it's done. By the way, thanks for watching my live proof video. You are one of only a select group of people who will ever get a chance to see something like that, and you're part of an even smaller group who may get the chance to take advantage of this opportunity. However, let me just point out, I'm not saying everyone who watches this video will start making $10,000 a month like me, but with my strategy in hand, even the greenest of investors should be able to make up to $2,000 or more per month in literally a matter of days. But first, before we jump into this thing with both feet, let's get better acquainted. My name is Paul Kincaid, and in this short presentation, I'm going to teach you how to make up to $10,000 a month trading stocks. The strategy I'm about to teach you is very specific, and you need to follow everything exactly as I explain it. I was born in Rochester, New York, on September 23, 1978. I grew up with a poor but comfortable upbringing. I was born with a mild form of Asperger's syndrome, and this gave me an intense passion for numbers and patterns. At about age 15, this passion evolved into a fascination with the stock market. It was never about the money for me. My intense interest in the stock market was just a manifestation of my Asperger's syndrome. I spent years of my life reading copious stacks of library books, all about inner workings of the stock market. It probably sounds boring to you, but these dusty old library books literally kept me awake at night. But despite my intense passion for the stock market, it wasn't until the age of 28 I stumbled on this stock market technique. I was actually working as a janitor at the time and living in rent-controlled housing in New York. But my intense passion for the stock market didn't translate into easy profits. Far from it. But when I did become a profitable trader, the breakthrough was very sudden. I went from being a stock market loser, gambling away my money, to being a consistent winner almost overnight. How? Well, one day I stood back and took a good hard look at my investing strategy. I calculated my net gains, and to my horror, I realized I was down almost $30,000 a year. I admitted to myself it wasn't working. I came to realize my investing could barely be called a strategy. I'd invest in anything that piqued my interest. Maybe a small biotech company was claiming they were about to cure cancer. Well, I was there. Maybe an internet company was about to start generating revenues. Why the heck not, I thought. I realized I wasn't investing. I was gambling. Each of my investments had one trait. They were all on the brink of something big. I was searching for the next Microsoft or Google, a stock that would catapult me into being a millionaire overnight. I wanted to hit the jackpot. This was my problem. I was aiming to hit the ball out of the park in every investment, and I was failing miserably. I set out to create a new investing strategy. My new strategy was to be the fundamental difference to my old one. Instead of searching for jackpot stocks that would make me rich, I'd instead focus on making small and consistent gains. I'd washed my mind of all the emotion. When I looked at a speculative biotech company, I no longer saw the exciting gamble I used to. Instead, all I saw was an investment plagued with risk. Importantly, my search was now not for stocks about to shoot up in price. My search was for a successful strategy, which I could use like an ATM. Consistent, small withdrawals. I didn't want my investing success to be because of dumb luck. Here's what my thought process was like. 1. Do I want to make $200,000 lucking out on the next big thing? 2. Or do I want to make $120,000 a year using a consistent, renewable investing strategy? The answer was naturally the second. In my search for the winning strategy, I probably read about 200 books. I'm not kidding. Books, courses, newsletters. I had all of them. My passion for investing was now a passion for learning. And this is exactly what I did. The technique I'm about to teach, and the technique that has now changed my life, was not a technique discovered by me. You see, 99% of the stuff I read in my quest for knowledge was fluff. Complex charts and mathematical formulas that just don't translate into easy profits. But one of those books held the key to the kingdom. The book is out of print now, but was written by a man who is worth $100 million. But what was interesting to me was that this guy made all of this money, every penny, exploiting the stock market technique his book was written about. The book wasn't a load of complex fluff and filler written by some infomercial charlatan. It was real, and the results were scarily real. Now, I'm not going to reveal the name of the book, partly because it is out of print, and every second-hand battered old copy costs over $2,000. And that's if you can find it. In fact, the New York Times called this book the most stolen library book in the world. Like I said, this technique was not created by me, but I've exploited this technique to the tune of over $1 million in the past 4 years. So I fully understand how this thing works. My contribution is that I've dumbed down this investing strategy into an easy-to-follow guide. It's just 65 pages long. I only tell you what you need to know to start making money. Even if you read the same book I read, the one where I found this strategy, you'd need to be an experienced investor just to follow it. What I've done is I've picked out all the important points. There are no formulas or charts in my report because you don't need to know that stuff. You can read my report within about 2 hours and start making profitable trades the same day. Are you sitting comfortably? Because I'm about to explain how the technique works. Every 3 to 4 weeks, there is a certain pattern that happens in the U.S. stock market. This pattern occurs every 3 weeks at most, and it only happens to the stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ markets. But when you understand this pattern, you can buy shares in little-known companies at up to 80% off their true value. Almost religiously after you've bought your shares, the pattern will reverse. The stock will climb higher and higher, allowing you to leisurely watch as your money doubles and triples in a matter of weeks. After that, the hardest decision you'll need to make is when to sell and collect your handsome profit. Just 4 weeks ago, I used this strategy to make $23,350 in a single trade. I used this strategy to identify a stock. And at $11, I figured the stock was really worth about $16 per share. I didn't buy in at $11, though. That's the important bit. I kept watching. Predictably, the stock plummeted from $11 to $9, $9 to $7, to $4. At $4, I went all in. The stock dipped even further to $3.50, but it didn't bother me, because almost immediately the stock rocketed. Within 3 weeks, the stock was back up to $14. At this point, I sold my entire position. Overall, it took me about 6 hours of work, and I walked away with over $20,000 after trading costs. This pattern doesn't happen every day. If it did, I wouldn't have written this report. It happens only once a month or thereabout. And you need to spend at least an hour a week searching for these opportunities. Don't worry, the searching isn't hard, and I'll teach you the entire process in Chapter 8 of the report. It's something you can leisurely do on your laptop whilst watching television. Anyway, let me get to the point of this presentation. I'm not just here to brag about how much money this stock market technique makes me. In fact, it sounds stupid, but I actually became kind of bored with how easy it is. I didn't feel the adrenaline rush anymore. That was when I decided to teach my strategy. I wrote down everything someone would need to know in order to replicate my success. This secret report fully explains how the technique works, and I wrote it in such simple terms. I believe a 12-year-old child could follow along. Chapter 3 of my report goes into explicit detail about how to find these technique stocks. Chapter 5 will teach you how to sort the good bets from the rotten apples. Chapter 7 includes real examples of technique profits, where I made thousands of dollars and explain my thinking. This chapter even includes screenshots of me on my laptop using the technique to make thousands of dollars. You get my point. My report is a no-fluff, no-filler guide to making money. My report won't teach you about life. I'm not going to bore you with the mindless drivel about personal finance and achieving your dreams. If you want that stuff, buy Rich Dad Poor Dad or any of the other get-rich-quick books on Amazon. Know this. I have something very specific to teach you. A specific edge you can use to make money with no experience or knowledge and very little startup capital. I bet there isn't any other make money book which has step-by-step instructions. Instead, they're full of general advice. Like Tony Robbins. He's a good storyteller, but mostly he just gets people all pent up with nowhere to go. It's easy to listen to someone like Tony Robbins as he tells you inspirational stories, but at some point, you have to get your hands dirty and make things happen. I've written my report with those things in mind. In case you're skeptical, you needn't risk a penny in testing it out. Most online brokerages allow you to use a fake money account to test your strategies. This will allow you to watch firsthand as the pattern occurs each and every month. And you can use this monopoly money to place live trades and see for yourself how easy it is. Once you're confident, you can invest as little or as much as you like, exploiting this technique. Starting with just a $3,000 bankroll, you should be able to clear up to $5,000 a month profit. If you start with even more, like $7,000, you should be able to generate up to $10,000 a month income. Ask yourself this: how would an extra $10,000 a month change your life? Of course, that's enough to live on, and then some. It actually takes me more time to drive to my local bank and get $300 from the ATM than it does to make it using this stock market technique. Right now, I'm sure you're skeptical as hell, but let me make you a small promise. Give me a few days. Study my report. You will never be the same again. Once you learn what I have to teach you, unless you somehow lose your money, it will be impossible for you to ever be ordinary again. It would be impossible for you not to know how to make tons of money, and it will be impossible for you to forget about what you read. I hope you'll give me the benefit of the doubt with my promise. If you do, please read on. But if you can't cast aside your skepticism, please don't waste any more of your time reading any further. Unless you believe in me, this unique opportunity will be worth nothing to you. Let's get down to brass tacks. After all this fuss, you're probably thinking my report will be really expensive. What I teach in my report has made some of my students hundreds of thousands of dollars. How much is information like that worth? $1,000? $2,000? More? When I first wrote this report, I sold each copy for $499 to experienced traders. These traders were happy to pay this price because they were able to use the information to start making money immediately. These traders knew and understood that the right information can be invaluable. But this high price posed a problem for me. Not many normal everyday people are willing to pay such a high price for 62 pages of information. You see, until they've read it and seen the power of this stock market technique, I'm just another internet madman making wild claims. Anyway, I thought about this long and hard, and here's what I decided to do. The usual price of this report is $197. That's the full amount, and you'll never need to pay a penny more. But I'm going to let you download the full report today for just $37. Yep, you heard that right. You can download the full report within the next 5 minutes for the price of a tank of gas. However, I don't make a single penny selling this report to anyone who isn't able to put valuable information to good use. Be warned, this offer is not for everyone. In fact, I'm not even allowing most people to sign up. Why? Because the stock market is a crazy place, and occasionally people will lose money. If you trade on a continuous basis, it is 100% certain you will experience losing trades every now and again. So, if you're the kind of person who is not emotionally stable enough to handle a loss, then you are not allowed to purchase this report. On the other hand, if you have the required amount of courage pumping through your veins, and you are the kind of person who likes to take carefully calculated risks, then this is exactly what you're looking for. Another thing to remind you of is, when you trade stocks, it's impossible to lose a penny more than your initial investment. Now, I already told you that for a limited time, only you can purchase the full report at a hugely discounted price. But I'm about to sweeten the deal even further. Because here's how you can try my Loophole absolutely free for 8 weeks. As soon as I receive your order, I will immediately contact you by email and send your welcome package. After that, you've still got 8 more weeks to read the report and see for yourself if it is as profitable as I say it is. If it isn't, you can simply email me and I'll happily refund your full joining fee. You will have lost nothing. Have you ever heard of anything like that before? There are just too many times in life when people are not willing to hold themselves accountable for their own services. How many people have a stockbroker who will guarantee he will make money or he will refund your investment? Is there an attorney who will guarantee he will win your case or he will refund your money? I'm thoroughly willing to make such a statement and more than willing to back it up. In summary, you have an 8-week period when you may try the Loophole, and even if you decide you'd like a refund, I will still let you keep my original strategy. However, you won't receive any new updates I release. That way, whatever the outcome of this, you will profit. That's everything I wanted to say, so I'm going to end the presentation here. Go ahead and click the big yellow Continue button below. Within 30 seconds, you can be downloading my report, and within a few days, you'll be using this strategy to make consistent profits. Just think, had you purchased this report just a few weeks ago, you would be far wealthier than you are right now. Remember, there is absolutely no reason for you to leave this page empty-handed. You can at least take advantage of this 100% risk-free offer. If you're not earning a substantial income within 8 weeks, email me and your entire membership fee will be instantly returned. Why would I do something silly like that? Because I have absolute faith that you'll make so much in gains from this report that you'll call back and ask to rejoin. That's the best test drive imaginable. You can keep the car even if you decide not to buy it.